Ladies, Juan Pablo. It's the final rose tonight.
We have some breaking news this evening. Sorry to interrupt your evening programming of The Bachelor tonight. My name is Carrie Shear, this is Sam Elsley, and Taylor Phillips. And there has been an outbreak of tetanus in the area. People are falling on nails left and right. Sam, can you tell us a little bit about what tetanus is?
Of course, Carrie. So tetanus is an acute but also fatal disease marked by rigidity and spasms of voluntary muscles. You may know this disease to be called lockjaw. It is caused by a bacteria known as Clostridium tetani, and it was first discovered in 1884 by Carl and Raton. So Taylor, can you tell the folks at home what to look for in this disease?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Sam. Some symptoms to look for are progressive stiffness and tenderness of the muscles of the neck and jaw, which leads to difficulty swallowing, and as well as facial muscle spasms. If you choose not to seek medical attention and the disease continues to progress, you could experience constant muscle stiffness and respiratory arrest. To prevent this from happening to you or your loved ones, we interviewed Rachel and Caitlin from the CDC to answer a few questions.
Rachel, can you tell us how one obtains tetanus?
Yeah, Carrie. So as you mentioned earlier, people were falling on nails, rusty nails left and right, which is one way to obtain the tetanus. But the way tetanus is actually produced is it's from an aerobic spore-forming gram-positive bacillus, or Clostridium tetani for short. These spores can be found in soil, dust, and the intestinal tract of both humans and animals. They can enter the body through a cut, burn, or crushed area of the body.
Okay. How prevalent is tetanus?
Tetanus is actually not as prevalent as many people think it is. Since 2015, there have been only about 30 cases reported to the CDC in the United States.
Wow, okay. So, since it's not very prevalent, why are we seeing such an outbreak today?
Well, because you're seeing this outbreak is people are not getting their vaccinations like they're supposed to. So, my friend Caitlin here is going to be talking about vaccinations here in a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Caitlin. So how can tetanus be prevented?
Well, it can be prevented through vaccination as well as a prophylactic shot after an exposure which could potentially lead to tetanus occurs. So the best prevention for tetanus is one of 3 vaccines which exist today: the tetanus toxoid, the tetanus immunoglobulin, and the tetanus antitoxin. The tetanus toxoid vaccine is the one predominantly used for routine primary immunization, often in combination with vaccines for diphtheria and acellular pertussis, commonly referred to as DTaP.
Okay, then that's a lot to comprehend. Is there a process to these immunizations?
Certainly for children. So kids' immunizations typically begin as a series of 4 doses of the DTaP vaccine before the child is 2 years old. This is followed by a booster dose between 4 to 6 years of age. Then it's recommended that another booster dose is given at age 11 or 12. After this, a booster shot is needed every 10 years through adulthood because the vaccination only maintains the protective antitoxin levels for that long. Thus, adults should be getting their booster shot every 10 years to remain protected. The vaccination also is recommended for all pregnant mothers in the second half of their pregnancies, each one, regardless of whether or when their last vaccination was given. So doing this as well as delivering babies in sanitary conditions and using proper umbilical cord care prevents any neonatal tetanus. Also, since any open wounds with exposure to those spores can result in tetanus, the skin should be immediately cleaned with soap and running water, and it's also important to see your physician to receive that post-tetanus exposure prophylactic shot.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We really want to thank Caitlin and Rachel for coming in from the CDC and giving us all of that information. We really did learn a lot, and we hope that you did as well. One other thing is we really want to let you know that you really need to go and get your vaccinations if they are not up to date or if you haven't even gotten them at all, and also take your kiddos. Hospitals and clinics are offering them at discounted prices in surrounding areas. So this is really to help us control this outbreak and get it underneath control. So take advantage of that right now. Do either of you have anything else to add tonight?
No, I think that covers it all.
Just remember to get your vaccines every 10 years.
All right, and thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy the rest of this week's Bachelor.